Welcome to Pop Flashback. I'm your host, Rick Smalls. Tina Boucher is out on assignment today, grabbing us some pizza for lunch. So, today we're going to look into the story of the woman who voiced most Disney classics. Yeah, those iconic voices from your childhood, the ones you could practically hear in your head right now. Well, we're talking about the woman behind so many of them, Verna Felton. And Verna had a massive career, beyond Disney even. But for a lot of us, it's her voice that instantly, takes us back to those magical animated worlds. What's fascinating is that her story began way before animation even existed. Verna was born way back in 1890, and her childhood was far from ordinary. She was performing on stage by the age of 9. And it was because of family financial struggles after her father passed away. By 20, she was already a leading lady, touring all over the country. That early drive and talent really laid the groundwork for the success she'd achieve later on. And it's actually through her husband, Lee Millar, that Verna found her way into voice acting. Now, Lee was already working with Disney, providing animal sounds. He even voiced Pluto for a few shorts. Talk about a Disney power couple, right? So Verna decided to give voice acting a try. Her first audition was for Bambi, but unfortunately she didn't get the part. However, luck was on her side, because Dumbo came along soon after in 1941. And, that was just the beginning of something truly special. What's amazing about Dumbo is that it showcases Verna Felton's incredible range. Right from the start, she voiced Dumbo's mom, Mrs. Jumbo, bring all the emotion and heart to that role. But she also voiced the stern Elephant Matriarch in the same film. Two completely different characters. And she absolutely nailed both of them. We can't discuss Verna Felton without mentioning Cinderella from 1950. I mean, she voiced the Fairy Godmother. That voice is pure magic for so many of us. It's the warmth and kindness she brought to the role that makes it so iconic. But here's the thing. Verna could do villains just as brilliantly. In 1951's Alice in Wonderland, she gave us the Queen of Hearts. That demanding, over-the-top rage. Pure Felton genius. And she wasn't finished with Disney villains. In 1955, she voiced Aunt Sarah in Lady and the Tramp. Not the nicest character, but certainly a memorable one. And here's a fun fact for you. Verna's own son actually voiced Jim Deere and the dog catcher in that very same film. Talk about a family affair. Moving on to 1959, we have Sleeping Beauty. This time Verna's back on the kinder side, voicing Flora, the pink-loving fairy. It's a performance where you can truly hear that gentle and nurturing tone again. And this is where her Disney journey comes full circle. Verna's final Disney role was in 1967's The Jungle Book, where she voiced Winifred the elephant. It's almost poetic that her time with Disney started and ended with elephants, wouldn't you say? Sadly, Verna Felton passed away in December 1966, just one day before Walt Disney himself. Now, while she's most known for her iconic Disney roles, they were just one part of her incredibly busy career. She was a major force in radio and early television as well, frequently playing motherly or comedic characters. Some of the shows she was on might ring a bell. The Jack Benny program, December Bride, and even the Flintstones. Thinking back on all those characters she brought to life, it really makes you appreciate the breadth of her talent. Which one of Verna Felton's characters stands out the most to you? Was it a Disney character or one from her radio or TV work? Let's continue this conversation in the comments. Yeah, it's amazing to think about how her early experiences on stage almost prepped her for this kind of this chameleon-like career in voice acting. Imagine, starting on stage as a young child. You'd have to be adaptable, playing different roles, connecting with audiences instantly. It's as if she built this foundation of versatility right from the start. And, speaking of versatility, you mentioned some of the shows she was in outside of Disney, like the Jack Benny program and December Bride. It's incredible to think about her influence across both animation and live action entertainment. She was a constant presence throughout the golden age of radio and television, almost like the voice of a generation in a way. Yet what's fascinating is that, while she was this huge star in radio and TV, her Disney work was often uncredited at the time. You wouldn't see her face on screen or hear her name in the opening credits. But her voice, that unique, unforgettable voice, became such an integral part of those films. It's almost as if she was this this hidden gem, weaving her magic behind the scenes. And I think that's what makes her story so compelling. She wasn't chasing, fame or recognition. She was simply doing what she loved, and doing it brilliantly. In the process, she helped create these characters that continue to touch people's hearts generations later. It's a legacy any performer would be proud of. It's interesting how you mentioned that her Disney work was often anonymous back then, but these days voice actors are finally getting more and more recognition, which is fantastic. It's like we're finally understanding, just how much they contribute to bringing these characters to life. And I have a feeling Verna Felton would be thrilled to see that. She was such a pioneer in this field, paving the way for so many others. And it's not just about the recognition. It's about the artistry involved. Voice acting is a craft. It's about using your voice to create an entire persona, a whole world. And Verna Felton was a master of that craft. Think about the Fairy Godmother again. All those subtle vocal nuances, the gentle tone, that slight tremor in her voice when she's excited. That's not simply reading lines from a script. That's true character creation. And it's those tiny details that make her work so memorable, so enduring. I don't know about you, but I'm suddenly feeling the urge to have a Disney movie marathon. Yeah, it really does highlight how voice acting is its own unique art form. It's about more than just like having a great voice, right? It's about using that voice to like embody a character completely. And Verna Felton, she truly understood that. It's like she could tap into the soul of a character and bring it to life through her voice alone. One thing that always strikes me about her work, especially with Disney, is how she managed to create these voices that are both, distinct and universally appealing. Think about the Fairy Godmother again. Her voice is so warm, so gentle. It instantly evokes this feeling of comfort and wonder. It's a voice that transcends generations, a voice that speaks to something deep within us. And then you have the Queen of Hearts, a completely different energy altogether. That commanding, almost theatrical tone is both hilarious and a little bit terrifying. And yet it's still so captivating, so undeniably entertaining. It's this incredible ability to create voices that are both memorable and relatable. That made Verna Felton such a legend in the world of voice acting, and her legacy continues to inspire voice actors today. She showed the world that voice acting is a powerful art form, capable of creating characters that resonate with audiences for generations. So next time you're watching a classic Disney film or even a show like the Flintstones, take a moment to appreciate the artistry in the voices you hear. And remember Verna Felton, the woman who helped shape the soundscape of our childhood. Thanks for listening to Pop Flashback. Remember to like and subscribe so you can catch our next episode. Smalls out.